Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here and to share with you our project that's been both intellectually and emotionally very transformative team. Darbazi Dialogues is an ongoing project which explores an ancient vernacular house type which is still surviving, though barely, in the mountainous regions of southern Georgia. This is basically the only facade which a Darbazi may have. So this region, Meskhet-Javakheti, is a high-altitude, cold and arid plateau shaped by a long history of cultural interweaving and ecological adaptation. Our work focuses on the Darbazi, a house type that not only shelters but symbolically binds people to a place, a dwelling that isn't just built on the landscape but of it. Okay, so yes. That's it there. So what is a Darbazi? And here we see fragments which resemble a Darbazi at some point. Darbazi is one of the most emblematic vernacular house types in the South Caucasus and not only. Structurally, it's a partially subterranean building with a corbelled wooden dome, and its center traditionally used as the main ceremonial space. This dome is layered with rot-resistant wood, slate, and earth, blurring the boundaries between building and terrain. Okay, yeah. Well, but despite its cultural and architectural richness, the Darbazi is unfortunately vanishing. As early as 1926, art historian Giorgi wrote and warned us that not so long ago one could see noble Darbazi. Now apparently only a vague memory remains. And unfortunately, that's what we're seeing today. Many of the houses, which, for example, we visited last year and were still standing, are already on the verge of like total collapse. So since 2023, our team of architects, researchers, students, and most importantly, community members have conducted deep fieldwork across Meskhet-Javakheti, which I think here you can see some of the snippets of our work done. We've conducted archival research, interviewed local residents and craftspeople, performed 3D laser scans, used drone photography to understand settlements at scale, and mapped all surviving Darbazi, not all, but most of which we could find, using GPS and geolocation tools. All of this material feeds into a publicly accessible multimedia archive, the darbazi.dialogue.org, darbazi.org, I'm sorry, it's darbazi.org. This online platform is not only a repository of drawings, scans, and interviews, it's also a growing network for knowledge exchange intended for students, researchers, educators, and of course, local communities alike. So these are the scans which one of our students who is here, Noah Tartarashvili, made them possible. So shout outs to her. I think you can.
I will add some words. I would like to mention that this Darbazi dialogue is a kind of a process. We are four lecturers at one of the universities who have totally different lifestyles and so on, but we have one goal and one very active our interest studying Darbazi as well. It started like that, just to find out how many Darbazis were still left in Meskhet-Javakheti. No one knows. We came to an idea that they could be around 200 remains more or less well preserved. Even being in the village, when you ask about Darbazi, the people may not know what you're talking about. It's a very strange situation. Plus, worth to mention that this kind of dwelling is quite ancient and is spread starting from starting from central Anatolia and ending with the high Pamir Mountains. Of course, including South Caucasus, and even the name of Darbazi differs from one place to another. For instance, in Armenia, it's Glahtun, it's Karadam in Azerbaijan, and so on and so on. So this is a kind of an attitude of local inhabitants and their relationship with the landscape, with the weather, with the conditions, all kinds of conditions around. So this is a kind of a well preserved and very well organized living spaces. And plus, I would like to mention that this Darbazi itself means, from one hand, it's a very old word. It comes from Mesopotamia, by the way, from Sumer. Yeah, I thought it was Persian word, but then I realized that it comes from Sumers. So it's a very old thing, and it means from one side it's a dwelling, and from another it's a gathering, a congress, a meeting, or whatever. So we are trying to keep both of them. From one hand, we are studying Darbazi, we are taking the students there, we are taking there our colleagues from Europe or any other places who are interested in sharing their practices or knowledge with us, and we help each other. For instance, even this, our website, this Darbazi.org, was worked out by our German friends who just came there to help us to develop it. And so this is very important. Then the types of Darbazi, or this kind of dwelling, differ from one to another place. This is a kind of an approach to roof earthen houses. This is a methodology how to roof with blocks. And plus the houses itself and their structure differ. For instance, in Kartli and Kartli, I mean the upper Georgia, their structure are totally different from the structure which is in Meskhet-Javakheti. I mean the seismic structure of or the engineering structure of the house, even that differs. Plus differs the appearance of the house, because mostly in Kartli, Kakheti, and so on, these are just one room with a balcony. Yeah, yeah. No, we don't have it. We have it only here. This is the facade of most Darbazis in Meskhet-Javakheti, because it has just an entrance, and the rest is just like a hillside. The same applies to the village structure. This is a really outstanding village structure by itself. When you walk in the village, you don't see houses. I mean, if you can imagine this traditional house, you see just the entrances, and that's it, and maybe the opening somewhere. When you think that you walk in the field, actually you walk on the roof of the house, and so on. Plus, we paid an attention to maybe one minor thing, but it's for the typology, or architectural typology, it's very important. That most of Darbazis have, for instance, so-called darani or tunnels, which are connected one. Yeah, we don't have here scan, but which is an underground connection between houses within the village. So this is this is actually part of the house. And this is so. One can imagine the layout of the village. One connection is above the houses, and another connection is below the houses. So underground. Uh, yeah. Plus, absolutely. Yeah. That's very interesting. That people, there are some places where the people still live there, but the conditions are quite harsh. Because one of the main reasons is that in the past, when these darbazis were built, the families were big. In some cases, for instance, in this kind of structure, this was the structure for three brothers' families. Yeah, up to 60 people lived under in one ensemble, or how can you call it? Yeah. So if we imagine those big families and compare with nowadays families, it's almost impossible for 3, 4 people to keep Darbazi in a good shape because they really need lots of people who have to take care of it on a daily basis. So nowadays, most of darbazis, which are still in place, are used to keep potatoes or any other cattle. Cattle is a good thing because when they have the cattle, then they take care of those houses much more than if they keep their agricultural goods because they have their own moisture, which is harmful for the structure itself. Plus, I think this is how it works from above, and you can see that the structures are half ruined, but anyway, you can imagine. Positive thing, we know 2 examples where the locals tried hard and restored their own houses. And both are very good examples. There are not many of them, and I would even add to that that the government is not helping the people at all. I would say even contrary. For instance, years ago, if the government was giving out the logs, wooden logs to burn during winter time, they had long beams. But then they realized that the people can use those long beams for any other purposes. I don't know, to make furniture or to make beams for Darbazi. So they started cutting it into 1 meter long beams. So we even have an idea that maybe we should make modern beams or cross-laminated timber, to show the government official that they have to help them, not to make problems for them. What else? Yeah, and plus the infrastructure for us, it's very interesting that it's not just the houses and the villages, but also the agricultural sites. With some storages, with vineyards. I mean, we want our colleagues, our young colleagues and students, first of all, and our foreign partners or friends, also to acknowledge that this is a kind of a culture which is still in place, and if we take care of it, maybe it will be in place in the future too. If not, it may be gone within maybe even 10 years because the latest darbazis were built 100 years ago. So they need much more help. This is how those darbazis look like where the people still live, some of them, and they're really good.
I think there are a couple of things that we because I think that one of the main reasons of understanding the whole Darbazi cultural landscape is, of course, because of the historiography, and the relevance of it, but also at a time of the construction industry increasingly leans on high-tech solutions, there is a critical need to revisit the low-tech and high knowledge systems embedded in the vernacular practices and knowledge. So I guess that this project, which right now we're talking about, is something more of understanding and maybe finding people around the geography of the Darbazi in general and reaching out to them, and on our website to geolocate as much Darbazi as we can and as many people to somehow understand the whole landscape of it, the whole urbanism of the Darbazi itself, not just the interior and the Corbelled dome, and of course that's beautiful and amazing, but the whole landscape and the structure of living and understanding this more human part of it is essential for this project. So, and I think it's very super future oriented, like how knowledge you understand. I'm sure we missed some stuff, but I think they are, thank you.